Ellie. How about that? There we go. Right, and let's do desktop audio, which would be these. That's much, much better. All right. Sorry, folks. Apparently, the new update for OBS decided to break my audio. So it is looking to be fixed right now. So if you're in the chat, if you're in watching on any other platforms, feel free to drop some comments in. Let me know that you're hearing me okay and everything else. Tonight's gonna be pretty easygoing night. Do have some Disney news that's come down the line. Definitely some exciting stuff for those of us that have been looking forward to Marvel Avengers Campus. Hey, Adrian. Good to see you here. But yeah, so Marvel Avengers Campus, there's a bunch of stuff going on with that that looks really exciting. Actually, just pull up a couple things here real quick because I have a couple guests that made their bookings for an extra hotel night stay, and I just want to make sure everything's in line for them as people started joining in and everything. But yeah, so it's pretty exciting time as they're starting to ramp up the information coming out for Avengers Campus, showing us some of the goodies that we're going to be able to purchase, the food, the wardrobe that the cast members are going to be wearing. What else did we see? Food, some of the like collectible stuff, cast member clothing. They gave a sneak peek at the hotel for Paris. Paris is basically getting a hotel that's themed towards New York City, which will sort of be exciting to see what all they've done. I actually haven't had full chance to watch that video, so we may watch that live together here in a few minutes. What else did we see from them? We have some updates around the anniversary. They're starting to give us some details as far as like what we're going to be seeing in the parks around the anniversary, the updated cast member badges, some things around the castle. That would be awesome, Adrian. I think that if they would do an Asgard, that would be really neat. I try to think we might be able to pull that off as a Disney World thing. Because to my knowledge, Loki and Thor are not part of the characters that are seen in Universal Orlando. That's one of the big hiccups around Marvel and why Marvel Avengers Campus is not at Disney World, is because with contracting for when Disney bought out Marvel, and Marvel already had the outstanding agreement with Universal for Spider-Man and Captain America, and who else do they have down there? Spider-Man, Captain America, Wolverine. They have Doctor Doom. I know there's a couple others I'm missing. Storm, I think Rogue. The way that they're set up, they're not able to have any characters that are in Universal Park also in the Disney World Park within so many miles of Orlando. So that's why you won't see them until they're so far out at sea. That's why you won't see them in the Disney World parks. That's why they went with the Guardians of the Galaxy route for Epcot for their ride there. And why we've only seen like Groot and Star-Lord and Gamora and those characters at the Disney World Park so far. So hopefully we'll see that change as we go a little bit further forward. I think that we may see some shuffling going on as far as what's available and things like that, because the way that things are set up right now is that really restrictive. But with Disney just recently purchasing Fox, that gives them a lot of the leverage, because Disney then in that case owns The Simpsons. Well, The Simpsons are another major section of Universal Orlando, and I believe in Universal in California as well. So I don't know that we won't see a trade of sorts, similar to what we had happen with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, where I think it was NBC wanted a particular host for Thursday Night Football, and they were locked into a contract with ABC, which was Disney owned. And Disney at that point in time, because of other companies purchasing other companies, Universal had come into ownership of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Wasn't using it for anything, but they had possession of it. And so Disney, when NBC and Universal were coming at them and going, we want this person, what can we do? They were like, give us Oswald. No strings, just give us Oswald. And they're like, okay, yeah. I mean, and that's a huge win for Disney. I mean, that was Walt's first character that he created prior to Mickey. Unfortunately, the loss of Oswald drove Walt to create Mickey on the train ride back to Kansas from New York City, where he had basically been told by the paper there that and the production company there that, yeah, we don't need you anymore. We're taking Oswald. He's ours because of the way your contract's written. And sorry, you're out of luck and out of a job and out of IP that you created. And so they were able to bring him back in, which was cool. So yeah, I think that we may see something along those lines. Maybe that they'll trade off The Simpsons for more free reign on Marvel characters. We'll have to wait and see when that comes to fruition. I know that Universal's working on a whole new park for themselves that will be very interesting for Orlando here in the next few years, seeing what all they bring to the table with that new park. But with them doing that and maybe drawing attention away from their 3 current parks, including their one water park. Maybe they'll be able to align things to redo some stuff and maybe bring the Marvel stuff to Disney, since that's who owns it currently. Let's see here. See if we've got anything else cool that. But we'll definitely touch base on those. Definitely some cool stuff going on in California, with a lot of people being excited on the reopening out there. We do know that the Disneyland Hotel is actually reopening here in about 2 weeks. So that's available for bookings now. Unfortunately, at this point in time, if you want to do the Disneyland park, the regulation is still that you have to be a California resident. So that is a restriction that I think we're going to see change, truthfully. I think that they're going to ease up on that because they've been adjusting things somewhat rapidly on that. Let's see here. Just shift these couple things here, and we'll share screen and sort of look at some cool stuff going on. So let's see what we got. We'll go into some full screen views here of some pictures and things like that. All right, let's do that one there. That works. All right, so we got our capture and cam. I'm gonna have to take a look at adjusting this. I just realized that my chat does not pull in from my restream. It only pulls in my Twitch chat, so I will have to look at adjusting that so that everyone can see each other, on my screen at least. But this is one of the first things, besides the castle redesign, which I think a lot of people have already seen, with the changing paint and the addition of basically like the gold details. This is one of the first things that we have sort of seen with the change for the 50th. The one other thing being the new wardrobe for Mickey and Minnie, with their golds and sort of the royal purples and stuff like that. So this is their, as they're calling it, iridescent new name tags. First time that we've seen the name tag redone in, I want to say, a really long time. I want to say it's been over 10 years since we've seen a major change in the name tags for like the standard cast member name tags. So these are going to be used for the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. For the cast members, they are starting to get them made and issued to the cast members. I don't believe they're going to use them until we hit the point of the celebration, which, for those that aren't familiar, will be October 1st of 2021, marking the opening of the park from October 1st of 1971. So those are starting to be shared, so that you can see some of the different cast members getting theirs or making theirs some of the different styles over the years. You can see here with this cast member on the right. There was something else that I did see that was sort of neat. They have that here. But I know that there was a release. This one. SnapX. Oh, maybe that is the same. So they are doing some special PhotoPass setups with Snapchat and things like that. So this will be available for use in the parks. So you'll be able to do extra shots yourself with Snap. So actually, if you want, you can mess around with that now through the 3rd. So that gives you a chance to check that out if you want to, if you have Snapchat. This here, let me pop this one full screen, because this one's sort of neat. Hey, Erica. Now this one, I personally absolutely love it being shown on the castle, and I'm really hoping that the photo mapping on the castle is going to be so they're saying about showing augmented way and things like that. Let's see. Okay. They haven't necessarily confirmed it down there. I am really personally hoping that image, as far as showing the photos on the castle, is going to be part of this process. For those that actually have gone to Disney World, probably I want to say 2011, 2012, 2000, probably through like 2013, 14. I know in that window, and probably for a somewhat decent period of time prior, before Wishes, which was the fireworks show for the castle prior to Happily Ever After, they had a sort of pre-show that they would do. And what they would do at that point in time is they would actually take photos and little video clips and things like that that were shot by cast members, primarily the photographers, as part of your memory makers and things like that. And they would photo map them onto the castle and project it as sort of a little preview show. And so you never knew when this random photo of you and your family by the castle or on a ride or whatever would pop up during this pre-show. So it was, for like my family, it was always a big thing to go and watch the pre-show, because not only was it a cool show and you were getting ready and excited for Wishes itself, but you had this opportunity of seeing yourself on the castle, which, how many people can say that they were on that? Oh, that's awesome, Erica. So you got to see that and actually got to see were on it when you went. So that's awesome. To my knowledge, I don't know of any days that my family actually were on it. We had a handful of trips when I know that it was going on, but we never spotted it if we were. That's one thing that I wish that we would have had some sort of indicator to know, hey, this is it, or that they recorded the show and then added that to your memory maker or something like that would be really awesome. That way, even if you didn't physically get to see it yourself personally, you got to have that as a memory from that. Or even if you watched it and missed it because of an angle you were at or something like that. So I need to look at some of this a little bit more. A lot of this stuff has been breaking in the past day or so, and I've been at work. So it's some of the information I'm still studying a little bit of the detail on, so I'm gonna talk about it more as time comes. Yeah, I think that would have been real neat to have the sort of keepsake of that. So maybe that will be something in the future or as part of this program. Let's see, because they're always looking for new cool things. 25th anniversary of Fantasia Gardens, which is one of the 2 miniature golf courses. So they have a little digital wallpaper if you're a fan of Fantasia Gardens that you can actually add with hippos and crocodiles from Fantasia, of course. Let's see, what else do we have? We talked about the snap a selfie. They did have a couple people that actually visited Disney parks recently. The one that they're showing here, best day ever, I want to say this was Justin Timberlake and his family. Oh, maybe this isn't the one that I was thinking. But I know that Justin was photographed with, I want to say it's his son at Savvy's with making lightsabers there. So that was cool. And then there were 2 actors. I think it was Stephen Amell and someone else, I believe, from Arrow. That just realized my captions aren't on. Yeah, so they were sort of featuring people going to the parks in the past week as well. Yeah, I hear you, Erica. It's been, well, it will be 2 years from when I went last to this next trip, which is basically the longest I've gone since the first time I went to the parks, which was September of 2011. So I'm basically coming up on rounding out my 10th year of going to the Disney parks, and normally I was going every 6 months to a year on average during that time period. And so, one, I feel bad because my boy's now 3. He's gonna be almost 4 by the time that we go. So he missed some influential years of taking him where I think that we would have had some cool shots and memories. I can understand that. Definitely depends on the family. Mine, we like to go each year if we can. I know a lot of people say don't take kids, don't go until they're going to actually remember it. But some of my favorite memories so far have been the ones that my kids aren't gonna remember um, so far. Like, we have a picture outside of Animal Kingdom, and we were just waiting around for something. Someone ran to the restroom or needed a water break or something like that, and so we took my daughter out of her stroller, and I want to say this was our first trip, and we have pictures of her playing around sort of in front of the entrance for Animal Kingdom, and she's literally sort of Peter Pan style playing with her shadow, like staring at it and trying to move and seeing how it's moving in comparison to her and stuff like that. And I mean, I didn't pay entrance for that. It's it just happened to be where I was at, but it's sort of a cool memory. Photos of like one of my favorite photos I tend to put up is us waiting for the bus with my daughter, and she's looking up at me and sort of grabbing onto me, and I think I was talking to her, and my wife just happened to snap a photo at that point in time. But I want to say that was her second or third trip, and so she was maybe 2 at that point in time, and so it's like those memories I'm gonna enjoy. So, not saying that there's anything wrong for those that wait until their kids are gonna be able to remember anything, but I'm not one to discourage going before, because I think that there are some really great memories made, and truthfully, it's not as hard as some people like to make it sound. If you are cool with listening to how your child is and things like that, yeah, I can definitely understand that too, Erica. We're still fairly hesitant on that. We have the October date, and Randa and I are fully vaccinated at this point in time, so we're more comfortable with us going, and the kids are pretty good with their masks now, from having the practice, unfortunately, that they've had to have. And Disney's had a pretty good track record as far as like guests not getting sick and things to that effect. So I'm hopeful that things will continue to look good as we get closer to our trip. But definitely I'm still being very cautious about it because of that. So I can definitely sympathize with those concerns. That's why also we haven't gone yet, and why we're not going until October, is I sort of wanted to give us a full summer after the vaccines were sort of readily available in most areas. Yeah, and my wife is thrilled because they have we will be there for Halloween time period. They're starting Halloween parties in August again, and they're running them through the end of October. We'll be there basically mid-October, right around my daughter's birthday, and shortly after mine. So we'd sort of like to go that time of year because the weather's nice, the crowds usually aren't too bad, the Halloween stuff is all out, and we can do the parties and things like that. And so they're doing an after hours ticket event to replace Mickey's Not So Scary. It is I'm still getting the name down on this. Disney After Hours Boo Bash, which is the updated party for the that time. So yes, I do remember that. Yeah, around birthdays is so much fun. Having people get their birthday tags and stuff like that, and or buttons, and everyone wishing you happy birthday and fun stuff like that. So that's always cool. I think a lot of people enjoy it, just because it's unique and different experience being able to celebrate your birthday down there. And we've been fortunate enough that basically all of us except for Brock at this point have had a chance to either be there on actually I think we've all been there on our birthday at least once, and then the rest of us have been there other trips within a few days of our birthday, one way or another, or sort of to one side or the other of our stay. So that's fun. That's right. Yeah. Depending on what trip you're going on and what you're doing when and things like that, it's you can end up with a handful of buttons that you're wearing. I know that I've seen a couple where it's like, okay, it's like yours, honeymoon, birthday, first time, maybe it's tied in with a reunion or something like that. Yeah, so, and they have all sorts of fun buttons for those, and sometimes there's a little extra pixie dust sprinkled in because of that, which is cool too. Let's see here. This was one of the things that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, that definitely, if you're celebrating something special, take the time, get your buttons. They're a nice little free collectible to have. I have a ribbon of sorts behind us that has like most of the major buttons that we have gotten: birthdays, anniversaries, first time, say there was one or two others, but I can't think of them. General celebrations like family reunions, stuff like that, they have different ones that you can use. But this is actually one that I want to show. Of course, I'll probably get a temporary DMCA on this one, but it's worth it to be able to share. So I'm going to pause my music. And I'm going to play this. This is the new hotel, Disney's Hotel New York. Yeah, definitely so much fun everywhere with this, and they've still found ways to do special stuff, even with COVID going on right now. But it'll be nice when we can get back to more of the normal. I'm glad that it was special and memorable. That's what I wanted for you guys, was for it to be a really special trip. And I'm glad that it was. I know, like, I'm just hit my 9-year anniversary, and I have photos popping up from the tail end of our anniversary trip, either stuff that I posted like right after we returned or as we were finishing the trip. And it's still 9 years later, like it's so cool to look back at everything we did during that trip, and it was a lot of fun. And so I'm thankful that we were able to do that for our honeymoon as well, because it made for a special time. But this here, this one I hope eventually I'm gonna be able to go see. This is in Disneyland Paris, so they're getting an Avengers Campus just like Disneyland is getting. But what they're doing is they are actually putting a hotel in that's Marvel themed, called Hotel New York, Disney's Hotel New York. And so since a lot of the Marvel Universe is actually built around real New York City, they went with Hotel New York for the theming. This is actually a quick first time look at this, and what the hotel's like and things to that effect, and how they designed it.
Mi reacción cuando me propusieron el proyecto fue en plan primero, en plan de wow, que van a hacer un hotel de Marvel. Eso es como ya una pasada.
Quand j'étais gamin, c'était ce que je voulais faire, tout simplement. Ce que je voulais faire, c'était du comics. J'ai grandi avec Marvel. Le fait que tous ces personnages-là et que des dessinateurs de comics soient exposés dans cet hôtel, de faire une œuvre, un dessin qui va rester là, que les gens vont pouvoir voir. J'étais très heureux, très heureux et très honoré.
The way the Imagineers pitched this whole concept of the Disney Hotel New York, the art of Marvel, they really wanted to stress the artists behind the art. I know they're featuring actual comic book art, but also they wanted new visions of these characters, new ways of looking at them.
So this sort of gives a little bit more of like a art animation feel to a point, because they're them looking into the art side of the comics and not just the experience of the location.
Y he dibujado también las cristaleras de la entrada. Van a ser pues como una mini historia con viñetas, sin diálogos, en plan de cómo los Vengadores pues como que se juntan todos para ir a la batalla.
I created a piece based on Black Widow, one of my favorite characters. When I first started reading comics as a child, I just wanted her to have a very powerful pose with a lot of attitude. Like no one can mess with her, because no one can mess with her, she's so cool. I just wanted my illustration to just emanate this kick-ass power that she has.
Pour Marvel, la plupart de ces super-héros sont des gens qui habitent à New York. C'est quelque chose d'important parce que c'est pas une ville imaginaire, c'est une ville qui existe vraiment.
New York est un personnage de la BD. Moi, j'ai plein de bouquins sur New York. J'ai acheté plein de bouquins pour me nourrir sur l'espace, sur l'architecture, la lumière, la foule, enfin sur les voitures, le type de voiture qu'il y a là-bas, enfin tous ces trucs-là, tu as besoin de documenter.
Per noi sicuramente è stata un'esperienza incredibile questa cosa qua, è stata anche una spinta molto forte per questo tipo di lavoro qua.
That's just neat. Almost looks like a stained glass version of.
Hotel is that it's acting as a gallery featuring art that I love, and I just think it's just sheer brilliance to do it in a hotel.
Oh wow.
Diciamo che come artisti italiani poter essere esposti a Disneyland Paris è un onore, e pensare di poter diciamo rimanere lì con il nostro.
I think that some of those pieces would be really neat to be able to maybe bring home.
Sabes, te acuestas y vas a comer al restaurante y estás todo rodeado de cuadros y de los dibujos ¿sabes? De tus dibujantes de cómics favoritos, o seguramente de los clásicos, porque va a haber exposiciones y de todo. tiene que ser la caña.
I love the style of the different rooms and everything. So that's in Disneyland Paris. So no, that's probably gonna be a long shot for myself for a while, but hopefully in the long run I'll be able to eventually get out there. But the rooms look beautiful. They're definitely a little different than what you'd see for a Disney hotel, but sort of gives you that additional level of immersion with some of the stuff. So this is actually showing
Pilar Hamill, and I'm the general
some of the
manager
hotel.
of Disney's Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel. As you can see, today I'm wearing construction equipment. We are still doing a lot of different things in the hallways, in the rooms, in the public areas, in the restaurants, but I couldn't wait to show you. So I wanted to invite you in, even though we're still under construction, to give you a sneak peek of what's going on. I'm very excited to introduce you to Tom Mueller. He works for WDI Paris, and he will share with you some wonderful secrets about the design and some of the behind the scenes.
Disney's Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel, everything.
Oh, that's a cool painting. That's actually one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes.
Fusion of all the codes that are related to New York and all the codes that are related to the Marvel universe, and just try to combine everything in order to create the best experience ever for the guests. There is such a great array of artwork on display in the bedrooms. There is in total 471 superior rooms in the hotel, and all the bedrooms and suites included, 561 rooms in total. And for all those rooms, we actually produced, printed, and framed over 1,400 pieces of art that are actually hanged on the walls.
So a ton of art being put in there.
The downtown
I
restaurant
really like
is
that.
the place in the hotel where you should
print.
find the most artwork per square meter. From the most
I really
famous
hope that they
characters like
consider a lot of those
Spider-Man,
pieces
Iron
to be
Man, Black
able to be
Panther,
bought.
Black Widow.
And
There are also some fan favorites like Elektra, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, The Punisher, Groot, and so on. And we really have some pieces by iconic Marvel artists
cool.
like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and
Oh,
recent ones like Scott
nice.
Young. And now you are in for a treat. Welcome to Manhattan Restaurant, which is a very elegant and contemporary restaurant that is the best place to relax, recharge, and enjoy the best Italian dishes around after a super day at Disneyland Paris. The central piece of this restaurant is a stunning lead sculpture, and it is actually made of 255 elements, and they've all been individually made out of hand-blown crystal. You can either see an upside-down skyline of Manhattan, or even Asgard, which is the home planet of Thor.
So one of the names they mentioned there was Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko actually is from my hometown, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. So sort of neat to have his pieces there as well.
La première, ce sont les Marvel Photo Stations, qui sont des points photos totalement immersifs avec des décors en trompe-l'œil. Nos guests vont pouvoir se prendre en photo dans différents univers Marvel. On a 8 photo stations dans cette salle qui sont des visuels hyper instagrammables et qu'on a vraiment hâte de vous faire découvrir. La première des photo stations, elle est inspirée de l'univers des Gardiens de la Galaxie. On va vous emmener avec nous dans la collection du collectionneur et vous allez pouvoir faire comme si vous étiez une créature précieuse de l'hyperespace dans la vitrine du collectionneur.
That's cool being part of the collector's collection.
Le marteau de ce super-héros. Ce sera à votre tour de tester si vous êtes digne de pouvoir le soulever. Nous vous emmenons ensuite en plein cœur de la bataille de Endgame. Vous allez passer à travers un portail de Doctor Strange pour venir prêter main forte aux Avengers contre Thanos. La deuxième expérience, c'est que nos visiteurs vont avoir la chance de pouvoir rencontrer un super-héros Marvel. Et on est très heureux d'accueillir ici Spider-Man. Hey Spider-Man, c'est trop cool que tu sois là. On peut prendre une photo ? Trop bien, merci.
So yeah, so that's just a little bit of the experience and teaser of what you're going to see with the hotel in Disneyland Paris. Definitely a neat experience opportunity there. Hopefully I'll be able to get some people there and eventually get there myself. But definitely like what they did. I don't know if we'll see that exact hotel make it to us in a US capacity, because I mean, for most of us, we could as easily get to New York City as it would be to go to one of those or one of the Disney parks. So I don't know that we'll see that exact hotel put into play for Disney World or Disneyland in the long run. But like Adrian mentioned earlier, maybe something around Asgard or something like that they'll consider instead. Maybe integrating the Avengers campus type setup into a hotel setting as well, that you're actually like part of Shield or whatever time period they're going to be using for it, and that you can sort of have that immersive experience similar to what we're actually going to be seeing for the Star Wars hotel. So it'll be interesting to see on that side what they may be offering there. Let's see. Last time the Star Cruiser you know what? No, I want to switch to Disneyland because I want to say there was one or two more cool articles from there. One of them. That was one. That was one. Yeah. So, cast costumes. I like the look of the cast costumes actually. Like, sometimes you're stuck with wardrobe that to fit in universe and stuff like that might not be the most comfortable, or things like that. Like this, to me, like that would be a shirt that I'd consider buying. Like it's a pretty cool design, and able to wear a t-shirt under it, unbuttoned and stuff like that if you want. And so definitely more relaxed style of look. Pym's Test Kitchen, which actually one of the other articles will talk about the food that you'll be able to get at Pym's. Pym's seems like a pretty neat location with some cool dining options. This is another one that I like the look and feel of, is the uniforms that they're basically using for the Shield type characters for training you at Avengers Campus for like the rides and stuff like that. That like vest piece, actually, if you look at most of the characters that are playing in the movies, you'll actually notice there's a line by the shoulders, and that's because they're a two-piece setup. There's an undershirt with the arms, and then this like vest that they wear that gives them the capability that they can lift their arms and stuff like that without getting funny folding and the materials and stuff like that. So it's sort of cool that seeing them sort of bring that style of clothing to people that are cast members as well for this. Actually, toss the audio back on since I'm not playing anything in the background. Let's see here. This is from the Ancient Sanctum. We have some of the like the Swarma places and stuff like that. They have different like street vendor type look clothing for some of those as well, to give you sort of like the streets of New York type feel for some of the vending booths and stuff like that for the food booths. But speaking of the Pym's Kitchen and food, the foodie guide here. So they've created a bunch of additional unique food offerings specific to these locations, with doing some cool variations for breakfast, lunch, and dinner being available at a lot of these locations. So, for example, at Pym's Test Kitchen, they're doing different like supersized foods for different things, bacon and looks like pancakes and stuff like that as well, sausage. So they're doing larger things. So calculated breakfast, eggs 2 ways, smoked bacon, crispy potato bites, focaccia toast. They have an possible Quantum Garden breakfast, so they are doing some more vegetarian and vegan based foods as well. With this one, now that says Impossible meat. So, meat. So, depending on where you fall with the Impossible meat replacement products, like I know, I say it's vegans traditionally, from those I've talked with, Impossible doesn't meet their guidelines for being able to use. So unfortunately, like some of the things that you do see at some of the locations, like in Galaxy's Edge, even though it's listed as a plant-based product for some people because it's an Impossible meat of sorts, it doesn't meet their requirements for their dietary restrictions. So good and bad there. At least being able to create more opportunity for more people, but not necessarily being as inclusive as we might hope. Cinnapim toast. Let's see what this is. Particle bread and egg custard, cinnamon sugar topped, fried egg, smoked bacon, maple syrup. Interesting. That would sort of be cool. Spoonful of cereal, bran flakes, raisin garnished with yogurt, covered pretzel served with reduced milk, banana, nana eggs, turkey bacon, toast. So they sort of have the full gambit if you're just trying to be a little healthier versus if you're vegetarian. Pretzels, PB&J, punch. Is Minute Maid lemonade with peanut butter and strawberry flavors. Fused whipped cream and pretzel spheres. This is sort of one I thought that was sort of cool. It's I think this is like a rigatoni. Yep, rigatoni and dillini, I believe it is. Pastas. Oh, it's a plant-based meatball. Tomato sauce, dairy-free Parmesan, and micro basil. Choco Smash candy bar, dark chocolate, peanuts, caramel, nougat, and chocolate brownie. So definitely some interesting options. Oh, here's the kids' meals. We have toasted ham and provolone sandwich, marinara dipping sauce. That looks like that's probably what this is here. We have a chicken sandwich. We have a PB&J. Assemble your own experiment. Okay, so that's sort of cool. They have the peanut butter and jelly in a like pre-packaged container, and then they provide you some cool looking bread to basically assemble a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as you'd like. And then some of the mini pasta and impossible meatballs as well. Sort of beaker looking cups for their tasting lab. It does have mobile order available, which is nice. Be able to just mobile order and grab a drink to go. Honey Buzz, gin, lemon juice, honey syrup, experiment, tequila, Minute Maid lime juice, mango, habanero syrups with mango popping pearls, honey fusion, gin, Minute Maid lemonade, honey syrup, IPA, and honey straw, molecular meltdown, marshmallow milk stout. Vanilla ice cream topped with miniature marshmallows. The regular, which is tequila, Minute Maid lime juice, mango, habanero syrup, wheat ale, and mango popping pearls. Portugal fizz, hard seltzer with cherry pearls. Draft beer, hard seltzers, and other wines. And then some snack options, mini pretzels, honey roasted peanuts, sweet and spicy, popped sorghum, I believe it is. I'm not positive on the pronunciation on that, so I apologize. Swarm Palace stuff looks really good. I've seen a few different sets of photos and videos of that, and it looks like it's really even though I'd like to do some of the sit down locations like Pim's Kitchen and stuff like that, that would be hard to pass up at while I'm there. Then they have falafels, they have treats, so they have Cosmic Cream Orb, and then they have a sweet spiral ration. It's a churro spiral. So they've dyed the churro green and did it as a spiral, almost more like a cinnamon roll style than instead of the stick. So different spin on things, but it's still something that is safe for a lot of people that maybe aren't as adventurous on their stuff. They also, of course, have really cool collectible merch for novelties. They have the like Iron Man gauntlet with, or it sort of looks like Iron Man style gauntlet with the Infinity Stones attached to it, though. Here. So we have glowing PIM particle capsules and glowing PIM particle discs. So that's these. So they have capsules and discs that are glowing to light up your beverages, similar to the cubes and stuff like that that they use during the Star Wars weekends and stuff like that for the drinks. They have enlarged Pingo Doce soda can, which is Pingo Doce or your favorite Coca-Cola beverage. I'm not familiar with Pingo Doce though. Let's check out what exactly that is. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's an error. Is that what I'm looking for? No. Maybe? Ah, yes. Okay, so it's an energy drink made with guarana and bought at a factory in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where Bruce Banner worked during his time on the run from the American government. So they're doing a in-universe drink that you can try. So that's pretty cool, because you don't get to see as much of that. So I like that. I like that they're going that far into the weeds with some of the merch. The Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet. So up here on the left, and then pint mini bear flight, oversized roller. So you have a roller with basically mini pints that probably will be very similar to the Rancor Tooth beer flight. So you can buy it and then you'll basically drink from a set that they'll clean and reuse, and they'll give you a pre-packaged container that's padded and everything for travel, so that you can take the drinks home with you. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Let's see, product reveal. So they actually have some products that are tied into the Spider-Man ride. So you're going to be able to get your own web slinger and don 3D glasses, or you have a additional power band. Besides that, the repulsor cannons, sort of like the Iron Man repulsor cannons, that you can use in the ride. Here's a quick look at the web shooter. And it links with the vehicle and things like that all together. Same thing with the repulsor cannon. So they'll have basically interactive targets that you can shoot at. during the course of the ride, which will be nice. Sort of give you a little additional interactive element. And then these, which, like, all right, I needed an R2. I didn't think I'd need anything necessarily from this opening for Avengers Campus. Like, I love comics and Marvel and stuff like that too, but I think I need to get one of these. These look really neat. Basically a remote controlled spider. They have backpacks designed for carrying it in the parks and stuff like that. I do like the fact that this is not, the backpack is a functional backpack, that the spider can be stored. I sort of wish that it was maybe a tiny bit more enclosed, just so that less of a chance of damaging a leg or something like that when kids are bouncing these bags around to getting on and off buses or in the car or whatever. But I like the fact that it's a functional backpack and not just carrying bag for the spider only, which is basically what the R2 and BB-8 bags are. I like the bags that they did for that Galaxy's Edge. They seem to pad well. They're comfortable, but there's very little else that you can store and carry in that bag. Some backup batteries, maybe your cell phone or a charger, something like that. But carrying extra drinks, snacks, change of shoes, anything like that, out the window pretty much with that. And they do have goggles for like a Spider-Man looking type thing with web shooters, light sounds, display when they're not being used to save time during the day, or save energy during the day. So sort of cool. Little setup there. They have, of course, your shirts and pins and all that fun stuff, water bottles, mugs. They haven't shown really up close detailed photos of any of those yet, but I'm sort of hopeful maybe some of this stuff will be put onto the Shop Disney page, similar to what they've done for the Galaxy's Edge stuff, just because a lot of people, well, only Californians are able to go and see this right now, when this opens next month. So unless you're relocating to California and changing your residency, or you already live in California, you're not going to be seeing this so in person for at least a little bit. So this would be nice if some of this stuff would be available. I mean, the spiders would be cool. I don't know about the repulsor and the web slinger, if there's anything exciting enough to make it worthwhile to buy yet, unless they have something that they're going to release for like use with a cell phone or something else. I don't know that those will be anything of note. I think that they're cool because like Disneyland, a lot of the people that visit Disneyland are locals. They're people that go multiple times a year. They're annual pass holders, things to that effect. So I think that this was designed to give a level of customization and repeatability to the ride for the locals. which are going to be the majority of the people that are riding out in California, because people tend to travel there less than at Disney World. Disney World has a much higher percentage of guests that are not local to the Florida area, or even the immediate area of Orlando. Whereas, to my understanding, the far majority of visitors for Disneyland tends to be Los Angeles area individuals. So I can see where they are going to use that to maybe increase the repeatability for people. Let's see here. Those are the main ones that I wanted to touch base on. And going through this stuff, did any questions come up for anyone, or anything else that you saw that you'd want me to talk about, whether changes in COVID-19 procedures, like the relaxing of masks, temperature checks, things to that effect, or what's that's gone on recently. Talked about that stuff. We talked about like the mask and stuff like that last time. We talked about the Disney Wish. Those are on sale for the majority of people that have cruised before can now book their first cruise on the Wish if they so want to. Towards the beginning of next week, the rest of the public will be able to book for the Wish, which will be nice as well. The Wish looks really cool. I like the Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar elements that they've integrated into it. I think the new ride that they're putting on the ship will be interesting to see what exactly it washes out to be. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what all that means, but should be a really fun time. Looks like they have some cool shows they're going to be involved. They have the Star Wars lounge that will be family friendly during the day, and then will be adults only in the evening. So lots of cool stuff that are going on there. Let's see here. That's it. Okay. Well, if you all need me for anything, have questions, want detail on quotes for future stay, Disney World is booking trips clear through the end of 2022. I believe Disneyland should be open through that very soon. That does include Disney Cruise Line through the end of 2022 at this point in time. We should hopefully in the next month, roughly month and a half, see 2023 openings as well. So if you don't necessarily want to get in on the inaugural season for the Disney Wish, but you don't want to wait too much longer, we should see that become available. I am working on new website that will have interest forms that you'll be able to go in, and instead of having to go through questions on the phone, I have a form that you'll be able to fill out and put all the details for what would be of interest for you for your stay. If you have additional questions, of course, then I can follow up, or I can just start to pull together the quote if you already in general know what is of interest for you, and then we can fine tune the package from there. But everything's free, no obligation quote. I do not charge for my services separate. So if you are interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy to help. I think that's it. So let me see here. I don't think I have. Just go back to full screen here real quick. I don't think I have anyone from Twitch on right now because I didn't really push Twitch for oh, there, that's what I wanted. Didn't want that one. All right. See if I have anyone. It's showing like I have 4. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to raid over then to Mitch's stream since he is up. Friend of mine, Mitch Brazizi, is on Twitch playing drums right now. He's an Australian drummer, really cool guy. So if you're not on Twitch, you can check him out. It's twitch.com/Mitch Brazizi. And he always puts on a really good show. He streams for us US based people. It's Sunday nights and Thursday nights. So he's playing right now. So I'm gonna set things up to switch over to him. And I probably will be back again tomorrow night. I might just game tomorrow night. I don't know that I'll do any Disney stuff unless I spot some additional things that I missed covering today. But I appreciate everyone that stopped by. And if you want to get notification if you do Twitch, I'm on there. It's Twitch. Hey, Overdrive. I'm on Twitch at appreciate you swinging by, man. I'm on Twitch. It's twitch.tv /vacation with Justin. If you set alerts, it will let you know anytime that I go live, versus having to worry about if you spot it on my planning groups or anything like that. That is one thing that's nice about Twitch versus the other platforms right now. I am looking at potentially going with, thank you for tossing that in, Overdrive. Going with the business version of Restream, so that I can actually stream directly to my business page. That way those that follow my business page would actually get notification instead of it just popping up as a post within it. So something to kick around, but that's like an extra almost $15 a month for me to do that. So I want to get a little bit more comfortable with the multi-stream before I go and invest that way. But looking at a few additional things that will hopefully help people. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still messing with my YouTube. I'm trying to decide if I want to change my branding up. Like I have my YouTube as Mousecomaniacs, which was sort of an idea that I had. But I don't know if I just want to stick with a consistent branding of Vacation with Justin across all the platforms, just to make it easier to find and more of a uniform thing. I like the Mousecomaniacs concept for like naming, but for simplicity, I might stick with Vacation with Justin for everything. So yeah, so I will have to look at that. Unfortunately, some Vacation with Justin's a little long, so some of the platforms is a little bit harder for naming and stuff like that. Like I can't do Vacation with Justin on Twitch. It's too long. I looked at changing my profile to that, and oh yeah, that would definitely make it a little easier as well with that name change. But yeah, so tomorrow night, I don't know exactly what I'll play. If I'm gonna do, I've been doing Squadrons, Star Wars Squadron, on Friday some. I haven't heard anything on a buddy of mine that does stuff with Overdrive, and we do Wreckfest a lot of times with Geek Nation, but unfortunately he's taken a break, and haven't heard anything on specifics of him starting up his regular streams. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Overdrive, I think everyone's had a little bit of a break. I know we're getting towards warmer months that people may want to do other stuff, but even if we do it sort of like Hunt the Streamer, like once a month or something like that on the first Friday or third Friday of the month or something like that, give everyone a target date to sort of work towards, for at least consistent with that would be nice. So we'll have to wait and see, but I know Geek Nation and there we go. Zero Mercury is they are doing a D&D on, I want to say it's Sunday, I think is what they're looking at. So we'll hopefully see some stuff from them. Yeah, could do some Dead by Daylight too, for sure. And yeah, there's a couple different ones that I wouldn't mind playing that I just haven't had a chance to. So yeah, if you have questions or anything like that. Apparently I have a typo in there. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, let me know. We're gonna raid over to Mitch. Oh yeah, go for it, man. All US based Disney parks are open at this point in time. I believe Paris is getting ready to reopen. The one that's harder to know is the ones from Asia. I think Tokyo's closed, and I want to say Beijing is in the process of reopening again, I think for their second or third time. They are all limited capacity at this point in time. Magic Kingdom, well, excuse me, Disney World locations, they were saying it was about 30% capacity. I'm hearing that they are going towards 50 at this point. Disney World is allowing any US based guests to travel without an issue to there. Disneyland, though, because of the restrictions that the state has put on, you cannot go to Disneyland unless you are a California resident. So that's one downside with that. Now is a good time to potentially go, to a point. It's definitely a lot more open spaces than I've seen at Disney World in a long time. The only thing that is sort of a downside with it is, even though there's less crowds, there's no fast pass lines. So there's a lot of positive in it, that there's half the people that you could have during max capacity, or less there. But then you're also missing out on that you could have to still stand in line for an extended time period. Although the lines look a lot worse than they actually are. There's some points where you're like, man, that's got to be hours, and it's like a 25-minute wait, just because they have the social distancing in the lines. But they are increasing the capacity of the rides. They're removing some of the barriers and restrictions so that they can fit more people on the rides, with so many more people being vaccinated and things like that. So they've removed the requirement for masks when you're in the outside areas. They only require it if you're going inside a building. If you're going into a queue that's inside, you're going to go shopping, you're going on a ride that's inside, then you have to wear a mask. Besides that, you don't have to. So it gives you a lot more flexibility on it. If you don't want to have to mess with a mask in Florida heat. I know for us that was a little bit of a concern, especially with the kids doing Florida heat with masks. Yeah, if you can go, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's not going to be much of a difference for you, Overdrive, if you went through last summer with masks. So yeah, I hear you. I know that they are saying that we don't have to do it now, and I just prefer doing it for extra precaution right now, because you don't know who's vaccinated, who's not, who's being careful, who's not. So I'd rather take the extra precautions myself and do it than not. So just my personal preference. But I think well, yeah, I mean, when you're on a mower and stuff like that, especially doing that for the type of time that you would do that, I know for me that would kill my allergies. So having the mask would be a nice benefit. I'm gonna wrap up. I gotta do a few payments for people and finish pulling a quote together tonight. So we're gonna raid quick over to Mitch, and I'm gonna get those things out of the way before probably try and get some rest, because I only got a couple hours sleep after. But yeah, good talking the Overdrive. We're gonna raid over to Mitch and hang out with him and listen to some music while I'm working on these last couple things for guests. So I hope everyone has a good night, and I'll talk to you all real soon.
It ain't over now, because when the going gets tough, the toughs get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
So thanks for the follow, dude. All right, let's try this for the second time. Let's give this a red hot go. This is not the iPad. This is my stream iPad. It's completely different. It's time for Live Learns, friends. So let's make these happen. Today, up first, of course, is Windy Whitewind, who